All right, let's put together the Spore lamp. This is going to be really easy, but I want to give you a couple of tips to get started to make it even easier. So for starters, we've got all of our pieces laid out here. I've got some of them segmented over here to the side that I'll tell you about in just a moment. So you've got 12 of each leaf, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves, and they've each got numbers that are scored on them, as you know. And so I've got them stacked in order here. And then you've got two different ribs. The only difference between these two ribs is that one has a notch that is higher than the other at the top. You'll see that just like this. And you're going to put these together alternating one each. So we'll talk about that in a minute too. So I've got a stack of, actually I've got 12 of each of the ribs, but what I want you to do is I want you to take two of the ribs and four of the ribs and put them off to the side, two of each ones, one of this one, two of this one, and two of this one, and put them off to the side. So you got 4 total ribs off to the side. And then I want you to take 2 of each one of the leaves and put them off to the side as well, because we're going to assemble those last so that we have a gap to put the base in, and you'll see that in just a few minutes, all right? So now we've got 10 of each stacked here, and we've got the 2 rings that everything's going to be attached to. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to start with this ring right here, and we're going to take one of the ribs, it doesn't matter which one, we're going to glue it in just like this right here, and then we're going to glue the top ring in just like that, and then we're going to complete the entire circle, alternating ribs all the way around until we have just 4 spaces left open for these that we set off to the side. All right? So let me do this first. I'm going to grab this ring. I'm going to show you the glue that I'm using. It doesn't matter what you want. If you can use whichever glue you want. I'm using Gorilla Glue Super Glue Gel. I like this a lot. It stays in one place. It doesn't run around, and it makes it easy for me to do on these videos as well because it's fast. That's what I'm going to be using. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this bottom ring. This is the one that goes around the stem of the lamp, and we're going to glue in this first piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ring and I'm going to put some glue right here on what I'm calling the bottom of the ring, right like this, and then a little bit here, and then a little bit inside the slot there as well. So that way, when this piece connects to here, it's going to connect to that glue I just put on there. And if there's going to be any glue that shows, it's going to be on the bottom of this instead of the top. Honestly, since this is inside the lamp, it's not really going to matter a lot anyway because nobody's going to see it. But I just want to keep it as neat as I can. So that's how I'm going to do that first. I'm going to kind of lean this here, grab the other ring, put again the same type of glue situation here, a little bit on the inside of the ring and then some inside the slot there. And then I'm going to glue that right in like this also, just like this. All right. Once you've got the rhythm started there, you can just work your way all the way around, alternating the ribs. Make sure you do not forget to alternate, because if you get 2 of the same next to each other, this will not work. So let's go ahead and put all of the ribs on together. All right, now we've got all of the ribs in except the last 4. And again, we're going to leave those out so that we can put this onto the lamp and then put the bulb in. And then we're going to assemble those last 4 without glue in these slots. And we're just going to glue the leaves on, and that will hold it in there. So let's go ahead and put this on the lamp. Just goes exactly like you think it would, just like this. And I'm going to leave this laying down for the moment so that you can see it. In just a moment, we're going to put it upside down on the top so that it'll make it a lot easier to put these together. Hopefully, this will show up in the video just fine. Let me do this for you here, see if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it that way. And I'm going to go ahead and put the ring here on. I can't remember what that thing's called. Flange, maybe? I'm not sure. But we're going to screw that back on there. Just like this. All right, just like that. And then we'll go ahead and put the bulb in also. This would be a good time to test the bulb to make sure it works before you put the rest of this together. Of course, you can always change it, but it'd be good if you test it now. Okay, so now we've got that on there. Now we're going to put the leaves on. The easiest way to put the leaves on is to actually turn this thing upside down like this. And hopefully that cord's not going to be in you guys' way. Let me move that out that way a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to work around from, it's the top on the bottom here. We're going to work around with number 1 all the way around, number 2, and number 3 all the way to number 6. So let's start with the number 1. We're going to leave the 4 that we set aside. We're going to grab the number 1 leaves here. And you notice that all of them have the number scored right here on them. Technically, you can do this either direction. You can put it where the 1 is facing up or flip it over, because when you put it, this is not where this one goes, but when you put it in here, it's going to get covered up by this tab right here, so you won't see it anyway. So it technically doesn't matter which way you do this. What I would do as far as the glue is concerned is for the back of each leaf, what I would do is let's say this is the back here that doesn't have the number on it. I would put glue right here in a little strip right underneath the slot there, because it's going to touch right there when it goes in, and just a little bit inside the slot, just like that. And then I'll go ahead and put it all the way down here. I know you can't see it very well, but it's on the first one, way down at the bottom. I'm going to slide that on just like that. And then we're going to work our way around the lamp just on the first row, and then do the second, and so on. So let's do that together as well. All right, now let's grab the leaves with the number 2 on them, and we'll do the same thing all the way around the other way. Okay, now we've got all of the leaves on and all the ribs, and the only thing that we have left are the 4 that we left off to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 and we're going to dry fit them in here. We're not going to glue them in, but we are going to glue the leaves onto them. So let's go ahead and put all 4 of these in, and just make sure you're alternating them the same way that you were before, because we got to keep that pattern going all the way around. But you're not going to use any glue on these, because that's going to allow you to take these pieces out if you ever have to get in there again. Okay? And I started out by not putting the right one in there. That's great. All right, so now, even though these are really loose, when you get the leaves in there, it's going to hold them in a lot better. So don't worry too much about how loose these might be. Because again, the leaves will kind of interlock with each other and hold that on there. So you may have to encourage these as you go, but they'll get stable in just a minute. So now you've got your stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start again with number 1 and work your way up. And there we go. You are all done with your spore lamp. If you ever need to take those 4 out, you can just gently work them from the top and the bottom and pull those out one at a time to change the bulb or whatever you need to do.